A thief was once caught by the cops, and while undergoing a lovely experience in the police station, he admitted his crime. He had broke into a swanky apartment, and not only did he leisurely swept through all the lockers, but he was able to enjoy a good stay, luxurious stay in that apartment as the residents were far away on a week-long vacation. Passers-by mistook him for a relocating neighbor. But what was even more interesting was that this thief was tracking those residents on Facebook. That lady was posting her real-time updates about her vacation throughout the duration and almost geotagging every accompanying member. Good afternoon, dear Toastmasters and guests. What I just narrated was not any fiction, but a fact which recently happened. How many of you here are either on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram? Raise your hands. Rather, my question should have been, how many of you here are not on any of these networking apps? Have you ever given a thought, how would our lives be without any of these social media apps? Trust me, days would have been just great, just like our grandparents or dads did. They hardly had about 4 to 5 close buddies who were just a stone throw away during times of need. Whereas millennials today, on average, have around 200 plus virtual friends at the tip of their finger, and whom they are almost trying to please always. Has anybody heard the term called as sharent? For those who don't know, it's a new word which got coined the last decade, and this refers to that parent who boastingly goes on posting all the minutest updates about the child and the growing child and everything on the social media. Being a father for 2 brats, I understand the emotions behind being a dad. Those tiny moves the babies make, the gestures they show, their cackles. These are all things which tempt us to flaunt them in front of our dear ones. Now, sharing these things with a grandparent or a close relative far away is reasonable, but putting all these posts on a public, on a social post, which has the least filtering possibilities, I think it is no less than being insensible, or I call it stupid. What such parents don't realize is that they themselves are being a root cause for a new set of generation who will be net savvy, but at the same time they will also grow up being insensible, attention seeking, or a praise seeking frustrated child. Birthdays and anniversaries. Now, these are again moments in anybody's life which has to be celebrated with the dear ones. But unfortunately today, many ignorant couples end up taking their smartness to a whole new level, publicly declaring the vacations that they would be going to, the way they would be celebrating, literally spoiling their own personal boundaries and compromising on their privacy. With such grown-ups, isn't it quite natural that we find today's kids hungry for attention on social media rather than seeking real blessings from seniors and elders who are living under the same roof? In the whole, I think the shift is gradually moving from the quality of life one lives to the quality of life one wants to show the outside world. In my opinion, not every person who's there in a friend list could be a genuine friend. I think we have made this world so overcompetent that where materialistic possessions, your physical looks, and academic merits matter much more than human value. Which also means that not every person who would be looking at your accomplishments on the web might be happy for you. quite a few of those compliments which you receive could also be fake. With that said, I think sharing your personal life or lifestyle on social media needs to be an act which has to be very well thought and measured. After all, the true happiness should emerge from within, not from any external source. On a concluding note, I think we all have we have sold ourselves to the social media. We have become that product which is already sold and which has no exchange or return option. My point is not to really curdle your limelight or to scare you, but just to make you aware that to be cautious, to practice caution in your daily usage of your social media. In the end, I just want to conclude this meeting, my narration, with a thought that is: think twice, share wise, because everything that you post on the web has a price. Over to you, Joseph.